From the outside, serverless looks very attractive. I give it at least an 8 out of a 10.
I do not do a podcast, UFC event. I don't do anything without using Alpha Brain. Oh, that one's a little fishy. I don't know about that one. Everything that we have is things that I use and things that I can wholeheartedly recommend. We just had this idea to create this cognitive enhancing formula that became Alpha Brain, which is total human optimization. Save up to 30% on Alpha Brain. We wanted to provide people with all the things that I use on a daily basis for my health and fitness. We wanted to put together a very comprehensive cognitive improving supplement. There's a reason why Alpha Brain has sold more than 4 million bottles. If you're a person like myself that tries to optimize every single aspect of your mental and physical performance, I think that Alpha Brain is one of the most crucial tools that you can use to do that.
Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain boys. Loving it. 30% off, so the algorithm knows I clicked on it.
Cognism doesn't just make lead
When
gen
peak performance is everything, Alpha Brain helps give you the edge. Oh man.
£81,000 created in the first 2 weeks of March.
Meeting, sorry, 450.
And the part that I find most beautiful is that it can auto scale to exactly.
I wonder
the
if my
load you
Discord
have,
got
and you don't even have to think
messaged
about
automatically.
servers. If you have 20 people using your app on a daily basis, and then all of a sudden your app just blows up on Reddit, and now 20,000 people are using your app, no problem. Everything works just fine. As more requests surge in there, you're going to have functions pop up left and right to handle all of them for you, and you only pay for the number of calls that actually happen. We'll just ignore the fact that your database died after 20 seconds under that load because you were on RDS free tier. In theory, this sounds fantastic, which is why I've been waiting for an excuse to try something with serverless that's a little bit more serious. And the day finally came around where I wanted to switch how I was dynamically resizing images. You know, like where you pass like 300 width and 600 height to a image endpoint, and it'll actually like resize the image on the fly before it sends it back to your browser. I wanted that, and I wanted that serverlessly. Or at least I thought it might be interesting to try with serverless, and I had seen something that AWS has where you can deploy a serverless image handler for you, and it does exactly what I want. The only thing is I avoid AWS like the plague, so I made the mistake of trying Google Cloud. I know,
Google Cloud.
Better, but you know what? You live, you learn. I know now. I won't make the mistake again.
They'll make it.
And for those of you that are unaware, Google's serverless option is called Cloud Functions, and it is just kind of slow, to put it lightly. I created a very basic Node.js function that used the Sharp library to resize images. I'll stick the code on the screen if I can find it, so you can take a look at it. If you want to pause and check it out, you can. But I ended up trying that out, and it took around 2-ish seconds to load, and in 2020, that is kind of slow as molasses. I figured a library enactment would be helpful, but I didn't have any molasses, so I got the next best thing. And you can tell here, Google Cloud is really exerting itself here by how much the honey bottle is shaking. But unfortunately, its infrastructure has decayed into crystallized honey, so it's not very forthcoming to process this request. But it does indeed get it in the end, so I have to give it kudos for that. At first, I thought this is just what I deserve for using a turtle language like Node.js, and I was contemplating switching over to like Golang, see if it would be faster. But the thing is, I was using Sharp, and Sharp has native bindings underneath the hood for like C or C++ or something, so it should have been fast, and it wasn't. And after further investigation, I found the true culprit was not Node.js, but it was cold start, which if you're unaware is just a jargon term for when your function is called for the very first time and it takes a little bit to initialize and spin up. And before your code actually gets executed, Google Cloud has to like create a node process and parse like your dependencies and all that little jazz. And so it takes a little bit of time. In my case, the cold start was consistently taking over a second, and my actual code was only running for like 100 to 400 milliseconds, depending on the size of the image. I looked online to see if this was normal and found someone who documented the range for cold starts for Google Cloud. And it's kind of standard for Cloud Functions to be this slow for Node.js, and other languages are actually even slower. But if you compare this to AWS Lambda, you find out Google Cloud Functions just kind of suck. For Node.js, the cold start for Lambda is anywhere between 0.2 seconds to 0.6 seconds, compared to Cloud Functions, which were at 1 to 4 seconds. In case you're wondering, Azure is just as bad. Here's a chart comparing Lambda versus Cloud Functions versus Azure. And Azure is kind of just as bad when it comes to cold start with Cloud Functions. except it can randomly be way worse. I was shocked to see Lambda winning by such a big margin, and it's not
You need a
exactly
new
competitive
layout.
either. So I have no idea who is using Google Cloud Functions, and
Vertical.
sure, like he need to switch ASAP. And of course, once I learned that, it was a no-brainer to switch over to Lambda. So I took 5 minutes
Vertical
porting over my code, and then the next 10 weeks configuring API gateway, and then I was ready to give it a try. Also, it's probably worth noting I didn't use that one-click AWS image serverless handler thing I mentioned earlier that basically spins up the entire infrastructure for you, because I had my images on Google Cloud Storage and not on S3. And that was actually for a very good reason, because I tested out both, and Google Cloud Storage just gave me better upload speeds than S3. So I actually did want my images over there. Here are the metrics for calling my Lambda function a few times. The first column here is how long it actually took to execute. The second column is just a rounded version that AWS bills me at. The third column is how much memory the function had, and the fourth function or column is how much memory the function actually used. I also tested increasing the memory, because you can go up to 3 gigabytes for your function, and I found 2 gigabytes was around the sweet spot for mine, and you can see the performance is much better for this. And the one thing I was a little curious about at first was, why would I increase memory if we
I hear stuff
look at
in
the
the
memory
background.
used, like my function's not using any memory? But actually, as you increase the memory of these functions, it also increases the CPU, which helps with cold start and also just helps with resizing the image itself. I got excited when I saw these results, because my goal is to get something on average to be less than 500 milliseconds, and it does exactly that. Unfortunately, my method for testing wasn't exactly very scientific, and I think most of these calls, if not all of them, were warm function calls. And I haven't really talked about that, but after you call a function for the first time, right, we talked about that's going to be a cold start and it's going to initialize. But then after that, the function becomes warm for like 15 minutes or so, and it doesn't have to reinitialize. And so it's a lot faster, and that's what we're seeing. What I did next to get better information is to turn on tracing with Lambda, and this could be done through X-ray. And so now I have basically traces of the Lambda calls that I can look at, and I actually can see like what part of it was a cold start and which part of it was actually the function call being called. So here you can see that this entire call took 900 milliseconds, and the actual invocation, this is my code running I believe, is 243 milliseconds. It initialized for 441 milliseconds, and then this bit right here, that is the cold start time I believe. So you can see a lot of the time here to here is before my code is even being called. And so it's actually closer to around, I guess, a second that it's spent initializing, right? Here's another one. And you can see the ones that are sub 500 milliseconds, like this 200, you can see it's just the function call being called. And there's like no initialization, or it's very small amount. So there's like no cold start there. So the function's great when it is warm, but when it cold starts, it's a little slow for my liking. I believe in practice, if you have a consistent amount of requests that are just coming in, and it's not like all at once or something, and it's more of like this, nice and even, then you have less cold starts, but that is something that I am still needing to test out. AWS also has this thing called provisioned concurrency, which you can pay extra to keep on X functions and keep them warm. So let's say you have like 30 requests that happen per second and you know you're going to get it, then maybe you can provision like 30 functions that'll always be on and be ready. And this is the part that I don't really understand, because if you have consistent traffic, or you know kind of around the number of requests that you're going to get, why are you even using serverless in the first place? Why not I just use a regular server? It seems to me that if your API is only good when the functions are warm, and you're provisioning functions to make sure they're warm, that you're kind of just missing the whole point behind serverless, and that you can scale up or scale down at a moment's notice. But the thing is, to take advantage of that, you have to be okay with cold starts. And that's kind of tough, because it kind of feels like you're just handicapped when it comes to performance. I've seen a bunch of stuff that serverless experts recommend doing and not doing to reduce the effect of cold start, and you can go down that path and you can try optimizing those things. But I'm over here thinking on a whole nother level. You know what I want? I'll tell you what I want. This is big brain time, okay? I want my serverless functions to never cold start, not even once. And next thing you know, I'm not using serverless anymore. I'm spinning up a thick Kubernetes cluster, getting 100% warm requests, and you know what? It feels amazing not having to wait 500 milliseconds before your code can even execute. Or I have option 2 for you, which is Cloudflare Workers, which boasts on its website to have 0 milliseconds of cold start time. I did play around with creating a worker to resize images, and I kind of got close to it working, but it uses a different runtime than Lambda, so there are some limitations. You can't use Node.js libraries that have native bindings like Sharp, so I ended up trying out this WebAssembly example to resize images that was kind of jank, to be honest, and it kept rebuilding the WebAssembly code for some reason, so I wasn't too confident in it. Plus, I saw on the pricing page that even if you start paying money, that you can only get up to 50 milliseconds of CPU time per request, which I didn't think would be enough for resizing images. So Cloudflare Workers didn't seem like a good choice for my particular use case, but it is something I want to try out in the future if I get something that fits in within the limitations, because 0 milliseconds of cold start time is something that I want in my life. But there you go, that's pretty much why I haven't been too keen to convert everything that I do over to serverless. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with my image resizer on Lambda, if I'm just going to keep it there. What I might do is just leave it for a little bit and see under normal usage what % of requests are cold starts versus warm. And then I'm going to be sticking a CDN in front of it anyway, so it's okay if a lot of the requests are slow. And yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that after a little bit, me and serverless are just going to be breaking up for this project.
Okay. Interesting. I'm a loser? What?
Chad, I'm a loser! This past week has been difficult. Now, normally I like to refer to myself as the God Gamer. I like to tout my skills in games that not many people are willing to play, but I am. And I try to become really good at things that aren't necessarily hard to do, but just take a lot of resilience to do. And this past week, I have been tested more than I ever have in my life. In four
Oh shit, I'm sorry about that.
5 different events, and I lost every single one. So although I normally love talking about how I accidentally won a tournament, or how against all odds I am the greatest gamer in the world, today we're not going to talk about any of that. Today, we're going to talk about how I am a fucking loser. And then at the end, we're going to talk about what we're going to do about that and how we move on. But for our week to truly begin and for you to really understand just how bad it's been, I have to bring you to the start of the week with a game that you guys probably know, the Suika game. Now, I'm not playing it today. You guys might have noticed I haven't played this game in a while. It's because, well, God damn it, I gave up on the game. I got a score of 3,437. I thought I was hot shit, and then I called it quits. It was good enough to beat almost every other live streamer who played the game, even most VTubers, even most Japanese VTubers who have been playing the game a lot longer than I have, until C-Dog showed up and beat my score of 3,400 by doing this. Like, it's so lucky.
I beat Ludwig's score at least.
First thing out of the goddamn rat's mouth. At least I beat Ludwig's score. So this just kicked things off, right? I'm the guy who fucking brought Suika to the English-speaking...
I'm bored, dude. Ludwig is for... maybe not for older people. Bandwidth cost almost killed Twitch.
Looks like I'm talking about net neutrality, boys. Strap up because this is going to be a fun one. Net neutrality is one of the most misunderstood and obnoxious concepts in the internet, if I'm being frank. If you're not already familiar, the idea of net neutrality is that your internet service provider cannot treat traffic from different sources differently. So if I am some random startup competing with YouTube and you want to go to my website, I, as the provider, shouldn't have to pay a special fee to Comcast in order for you to get that traffic. The idea of net neutrality is meant to preserve the fair and equal access web so that random companies don't get priced out in competition. It's super important for keeping the web the way we want to keep it, fair and open to everyone. So whoever makes the best solution can eventually win. The problem isn't that net neutrality was axed in the US. It was, but it's largely come back. The problem has much more to do with overseas, particularly in South Korea, where bandwidth costs are as high as 40 times higher per megabyte than they are in the US. Obviously, some amount of that has to do with
Really?
the
Is that
complexity
true?
of getting the networks all working. However, we shouldn't be paying as the service provider for every single byte that happens to go through Korea and then deal with the weird price gouging that the two providers that make up the majority of South Korea's internet end up enforcing. This isn't just something I'm here to complain about for the sake of it. This is actually affecting a meaningful portion of my audience because somewhat recently, Twitch decided to pull out of South Korea entirely. An update on Twitch in Korea. This is written by Dan Clancy, DJ Clancy, the current CEO of Twitch. This morning, I shared with our community in Korea that we've made the difficult decision to shut down the Twitch business in Korea on February 27th next year. We understand that this is extremely disappointing news, and we wanted to explain why we made this decision and how we're planning to support those impacted. Ultimately, the cost to operate Twitch in Korea is prohibitively expensive, and we have spent significant effort working to reduce these costs so we could find a way for the Twitch business to remain in Korea. First, we experimented with a peer-to-peer model for source quality. Then we adjusted source quality to a maximum of 720p. While we have lowered costs from these efforts, our network fees in Korea are still 10 times more expensive than in most other countries. Twitch has been operating in Korea at a significant loss, and unfortunately, there is no pathway forward for our business to run more sustainably in that country. To all of our global communities, we want to make it clear that this is a unique situation. Operating costs in Korea are significantly higher than they are in other countries, and we have been open about this challenge for some time. Twitch streamers in Korea have devoted significant time and effort into building their communities, and we plan to help them find new homes, even if it's regrettably not on Twitch. We will work to help Twitch streamers in Korea move their communities to alternative live streaming services in Korea. We are also reaching out to several of those services to help with the transition, and will communicate with impacted streamers as those discussions progress. Yeah, not great that they had to do this. Cloudflare back in 2016, and from everything I know, things have actually gotten worse.
Hold up, I'll be right
since.
back.
So in Asia, excluding the Middle East, transit costs 7 times the benchmark. Let's assume the cost of transit in Europe and North America is 10 units. With that benchmark in place, without disclosing exact pricing, we can compare regions accordingly. So the transit cost in Europe is 10 units. In America, it's roughly the same or 10 units. Most of Asia traffic's 7 times the benchmark, so 70 units. However, they peer about 60% of the traffic, which knocks it all the way down to 28 units instead. Because again, they're billing infrastructure to user. So if you find ways for things to peer within the network in these countries, they're not going to bill on that, so you can meaningfully reduce the cost, which is also why Twitch was trying peer-to-peer for their streaming stuff too, keeping it off of Twitch's infra, preventing a lot of those billings from occurring. That said, the default cost being 7x is pretty bad. 2 Asian locations stand out as being especially expensive: Seoul and Taipei. In these markets, with powerful incumbents, Korea Telecom and HyNet, transit costs 15 times as much as in Europe or North America. That is terrifying. And the majority of why that's the case is these two companies run the vast majority of the infrastructure in Korea. Absolute madness. South Korea is perhaps the only country in the world where bandwidth costs are going up. This may be driven by new regulations from the Ministry of Science, which mandate the commercial terms of domestic interconnection based on predetermined tiers of participating
There's
networks.
a monopoly
This
in
is
Korea.
contrary to how things work in the rest of the world, where networks self-regulate and often peer without settlement. The government even prescribes the rate at which prices should decrease per year, which is significantly slower than the annual drop in unit bandwidth costs elsewhere in the world. We're only able to peer about 2% of our traffic in South Korea. They make it incredibly hard to peer your traffic there. If you include HyNet and Korea Telecom in our blended bandwidth pricing and take into account peering, our effective price unit is 28 units. If you exclude them, it goes down to 14. So the price of traffic in Korea as a whole for Cloudflare doubles just because of these two internet service providers. That's insane. I don't know how to put into words just how absurd this is. Bandwidth is already really expensive. Doubling the cost of all of Asia because of these two providers in Korea is insanity. There's a great article on TechDirt that goes in depth on just how absurd this is. As they've pointed out in a few articles now, apparently. Let me see. Yeah. 2 years ago in October, Netflix had similarly absurd problems. Previously, AT&T in the US was claiming that big tech gets a free ride, which is just bullshit. And now Korea is doing the same thing. South Korea internet service provider SK Broadband has sued Netflix to pay for costs from increased network traffic and maintenance work because of a surge of viewers to the US firm's content, a South Korean spokesperson said on Friday. This move comes after a Seoul court said Netflix should reasonably give something in return to the internet service provider for network usage. And multiple South Korean lawmakers have spoken out against content providers who do not pay for network usage despite generating explosive traffic. For a comparison, so you guys better understand this, imagine if Ford sued gas stations for putting gas in your car. Gas stations are putting gas into your car so it runs. If more people need to drive and more people are using their Ford cars, those gas stations should be kicking some money back. It's absurd. The cost of running the service per megabyte doesn't go up when Netflix does well. The users are the ones paying for the number of megabytes. They've paid for an allocation. And depending on where that comes from, they're rebilling on the other side. It's absolute nonsense. It's like, the only word I could think of to describe this is corruption. It's horrifying. If we go back to this article for the Twitch leaving the entire market, we have the quote from the blog post we just read, and then their thoughts, which is, for the better part of the last few decades, global telecom giants have been trying to double dip. Again, trying to break net neutrality so they can bill both sides of the equation. This idea is that big ISPs are inherently owed a cut of the revenues of services traveling over their networks. This is what started the net neutrality wars around the world several decades ago, where AT&T insisted Google wouldn't ride on their pipes for free. And yeah, it's only getting dumber every day. Under Korea's model, edge providers like Netflix are forced to pay network service fees to ISPs. Basically, ISPs claim they're inherently owed money if a TV show on Netflix is super popular, claiming they should be compensated for the extra bandwidth. ISPs are supposed to build networks that can handle any peak capacities caused by normal consumer demand. Consumers and edge providers have already paid an arm and a leg for bandwidth, particularly if regional monopolization has driven down any incentive to compete on price. It's absurd. We're at the point in the US where one of the best options for your internet is getting a T-Mobile modem for a phone and throwing that in a router and just not using the cable that's run on the ground. Because
I'm gonna pause this and play an ad real quick. Give me a second. Where did that go? We're gonna play an ad real quick. Give me a sec. I gotta make it stop saying powered by Restream. No. Let's not do that. Why is it doing that actually? Is it because my events are messed up? Let me see something. Delete this, save. Okay. Hopefully that fixed it. Now, yeah. Huh. YouTube streaming is weird. Okay, I think the ad's done, so I'm gonna keep playing the video.
They can charge you arbitrary amounts, and there's a little more competition once those things are in the air. It's crazy how bad things have gotten here, to the point where Netflix is getting sued and Twitch is just giving up and leaving. Like, holy hell, how are we at that point? When I was at Twitch, it was well known how absurdly expensive Korea was to operate in, but here we are. it's over. And there's
Okay, cool.
no one to blame other than the corruption that allowed these providers to do this. This is also why net neutrality is so important.
Okay,
Imagine
cool,
if this
cool,
happened in the US. Imagine how much our way of using the internet would have to change if these services were getting billed on top of us being billed for traffic that they should be providing based on the terms we already have. It's just insanity. And this is why it's so important that we push hard for net neutrality, not just in the US, but around the world. I can't believe this happened. I genuinely can't. And my heart goes out to everybody in Korea who is losing their community and possibly even their job as a result. This needs to change. And I'm sincerely hopeful that we see a future where everybody has fair and equal access to the internet. Because right now we don't, and I'm terrified of what that means. If you want to hear more about terrifying monopolies destroying the internet, I'll pin a video about Google and Gmail in the corner there. If you've already seen that, there's one below YouTube seems to think you'll like. Appreciate y'all as always. I'll see you in the next one.
I feel bad for
Peace,
Korea.
nerds.
Damn.
Step into Wix Studio, where creative
I had
freedom
no idea
meets
that was going
absolute
on.
efficiency. Intelligent design scale by default, and even advanced layouts adapt with responsive AI. In Studio, immersive experiences take shape with no-code interactions and custom CSS.
Alright. That's done. Next thing I wanted to watch was this one.
There's been some big announcements around VS Code and Copilot in the last couple weeks. Copilot essentially got exponentially smarter. How does that work? Let's take a look. All right, I've got a project here where I want to add an additional
Exponentially
login button for Facebook.
Smarter.
But I'm not exactly sure where in the project this login is done because there's like a lot of files in here. Okay, so let's ask Copilot to tell us where in the project this login is being done. And as you can see, it doesn't really know. And that's because it doesn't know everything about my project, and all it can give me is a generic answer. And that's because one of the limitations of these large language models like ChatGPT is that the size of the messages that you can send to the model is limited. We call these tokens. And because of that, it's impossible to send your entire project and all your source code up to the large language model. It's simply too big. And so while GitHub Copilot does a really good job, it only has a partial view of your world, and that can be quite limiting. So we removed that limit. We've added a brand new workspace command here that allows Copilot to search your entire project.
Where is
and
login
it does
handled?
This all on your local machine.
Holy shit.
We get back an answer that shows us everywhere login might be implemented, which is quite a few places. And this is how most real-world projects are. Functionality is just rarely contained all in one file. But with the new workspace command, GitHub Copilot now knows about your whole project and can give you holistic answers. And in addition to knowing about your whole project, all chat in GitHub Copilot is now handled by GPT-4. Okay, so I think this is what I'm looking for this login button, the modal
That's
login
pretty
component,
nuts. That's
and it
pretty
even tells
nuts.
me that there's Twitter login there. So let's click on that
Pretty
to jump
nuts.
directly to that file. So in the modal login component, I want to add a new button right here below the existing Twitter button. There's a lot of markup here, so I'm not sure exactly what I need and what I don't. So what I'm going to do is open up the quick chat here with Command and Shift I or Control Shift I. And that lets us jump right into a chat window without having to go back and forth to the sidebar. And I'm going to ask it for a new login button. Okay, nice. It's given us a button, but for GitHub. Let's just go ahead and copy this code in, and then we'll iterate. Iteration is key to success with Copilot. So let's open the inline chat here and tell it to make this a Facebook button instead. And here the changes come streaming in real time, so you can watch what Copilot is writing as it writes it. And it gives us a Facebook button. Now, part of the magic of Copilot has always been its ability to anticipate what you're gonna do next. So for instance, I need a Facebook URL here, which is gotten from the configuration file, and it automatically writes that code for me. But even crazier than this is that if I go down to the CSS and I ask for a new style for that Facebook button, it knows what color to make that button. It knows the color.
Wait,
of
what?
The Facebook
Sorry, I spaced
logo.
out for a second. I'm gonna rewatch this.
Iteration button. Okay, nice. It's given us a button, but okay, so I think this is what I'm looking for this login button, the modal login component, and it even tells me that there's Twitter login there. So let's click on that to jump directly to that file.
Okay.
So in the modal login component, I want to add a new button right here below the existing Twitter button. There's a lot of markup here, so I'm not sure exactly what I need and what I don't, so what I'm going to do is open up the quick chat here with Command and Shift I or Control Shift I, and that lets us jump right into a chat window without having to go back and forth to the sidebar. And I'm going to ask it for a new login button.
Hey.
Okay, nice. It's given us
VS
a
Code
button, but for GitHub. Let's just go ahead and copy this code in, and then we'll iterate. Iteration is key to success with Copilot. So
prompt engineers are becoming a real thing now.
And tell it to make this a Facebook button instead. And here the changes come streaming in real time, so you can watch what Copilot is writing as it writes it. And it gives us a Facebook button. Now, part of the magic of Copilot has always been its ability to anticipate what you're gonna do next. So for instance, I need a Facebook URL here, which is gotten from the configuration file, and it automatically writes that code for me. But even crazier than this is that if I go down to the CSS and I ask for a new style for that Facebook button, it knows what color to make that button. It knows the color of the Facebook logo. That's nuts. Now, how do I run this? I assume the instructions are in the README, which I could open and ask Copilot about, but Copilot now lets you specify context for your chat, including specific files. So I'm going to use the pound file command here and select the README, and then ask the question about how I run this app. And I will just take this serve command and select run it.
Just gave it a README file.
Run it. Now, when I do this, I get an error, and it's cryptic. Something about glibc. I have no idea what that is. But you'll notice there is a new Copilot icon that you'll see in a lot of places in VS Code. It looks like these little sparkles. So keep your eyes out for it. Now, when we click on this, Copilot looks at the last terminal command and output and gives us an answer about glibc. And we have options. One of them is to upgrade our system, which it does not recommend, but the other one is to use a different version of Node. And as it turns out, I already have NVM installed and I'm using Node 18, so let's take this suggestion and change that to Node 10. And problem solved.
Node 10, that's not solved.
And this new button, it looks great. I just want to
now you're on Node 10.
But we know that typing messages
we're
to
on Node
AI like
20
ChatGPT
something already
can feel laborious after a while, especially if you're doing a lot of it. The whole point of coding is to move faster with shortcuts, not type everything that's in your brain, right? But how do you do this with an AI? There is a brand new extension called VS Code Speech, which provides speech to text support in VS Code. And it means that you can quite literally talk to Copilot. So watch me bring up the inline chat here and ask it for a new class with some margin and some drop shadow. And then I'm even gonna ask it to add that class to the buttons automatically. Check this out. Create a new class which adds some margin and a subtle drop shadow. And then add this class to the two login buttons in the HTML above. Copilot creates the new class and it adds that class to the buttons in the markup in both buttons at the correct place. All right, my button looks great and I'm ready to commit this. Now,
ready to commit,
then you can write any code, right? But since Copilot is your pair programmer, it knows what
you should probably review it.
There's a Copilot button right here, the sparkles in the commit box, and Copilot will automatically write a good commit message for us. And if that doesn't blow your mind, when we create the PR for this feature, why write a description when Copilot is perfectly capable of doing that as well? And all of this is available in Copilot today. You can use it today. All the links you need are in the video description below. And as always, happy coding.
All right, time for an ad break. Energy Ultra Strawberry. The Edge. Is edge computing really fast or? Visual editor for building React apps.
Their AI, Intercom's AI, the leader in AI for customer service. Learn more at intercom.com.
I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI.
Okay, this is definitely.
Alright, let's hold up. Let's wait for the ad to finish before I play it. Okay, I think the ad's done. So let's check out. Whoa.
Components visually
Let's
now. With a
rewind.
brand new integrated.
How do I do that? What the
Okay,
heck?
this is.
Okay, you must try this visual editor for building React.js apps. Okay, we're gonna look at visual editor.
It's definitely something you should try. Did you know you can build React components visually now with a brand new integrated development environment? Let me tell you how I discovered this. I've been working on a startup project for the last month, which is to interact with YouTube videos using ChatGPT. In my last video, I actually built out the MVP, but it didn't look that great visually. And so now I want to build out a very nice looking visual interface. I already have an idea of what this should look like, but should I open up Figma to do it? Or should I open up VS Code? Or should I check out this new thing I've heard called Codux? Apparently, it can let you build React components with live previews. As a programmer who loves React, I never thought that I'd be building components visually. It's basically like I have Figma. I can inspect styling, I can change viewports, and I can do so all in just a few clicks. But for designing React components, what exactly is this magical tool and how does it work? Let me give you some background. I've always built websites, including all their sections and components, as one large item, basically the entire page all at once, rather than each individual item and then putting it together. Essentially, building it top down rather than bottom up. And this meant that I always refreshed the page a lot, because when you spend 10 to 20 minutes writing code, you need to actually check whether what you've written actually works. So many years ago, when I was building websites in PHP, I had a Chrome extension that would automatically refresh the page for me. This made it easier to track how my work was going, but I'd still need to resize the window and test different viewports in order to see if different parts of the website actually worked. I'd even have to open up different browsers like Firefox, Chrome, and even Internet Explorer. Many years later, when the team from Facebook released React with hot reloading as part of Create React App, I was impressed. However, this still meant that I had Visual Studio Code open on one side of my monitor and Chrome on the other. And for a long time, this is how I build websites. The only issue is that React is more of a bottom-down framework. You build small components on top of others, and eventually you have a large app. But now, the team from Codux has introduced a brand new product which makes the whole process completely different. It allows you to build components first, meaning I could actually build sites bottom up rather than top down. Then on YouTube, I saw Fireship make a video about it, and then CodeStacker, and then DevEd, and then James Q Quick, and then I thought maybe I should try it out. I headed to codux.com, and while it's still in beta, I found out this application is completely free. So why not try it out? And from what I can see, it supports React, TypeScript, CSS, Sass, CSS modules, Tailwind CSS. It has a visual IDE. It has a code editor. It has a styling panel. It lets you import third-party libraries, and it does pretty much everything besides make you a coffee. I'm downloading it right now. Sketch.com, which is only available on Mac. Codux works on both Mac and Windows. Once downloaded, I logged in using my Google authentication, and I had the option to create a new project using Vite or Webpack, or try one of the pre-made templates. The way I learn is often by doing. Without reading any documentation or seeing any demos, I decided to create a brand new project. I called the project YouTube Transcripts React. Codux would automatically use a Vite to install this alongside with SCSS and CSS modules. Since it creates a real project folder along with a packages.json, it also installs sketch.com, which is only available on Mac. Codux works on both Mac and Windows. Once downloaded, I logged in using my Google authentication, and I had the option to create a new project using Vite or Webpack, or try one of the pre-made templates. The way I learn is often by doing. Without reading any documentation or seeing any demos, I decided to create a brand new project. I called the project YouTube Transcripts React. Codux would automatically use a Vite to install this alongside with SCSS and CSS modules. Since it creates a real project folder along with a packages.json, it also installs the configuration for that project. And immediately I get to see my very first board with a preview of the project object itself. When I double click the board, I get into the editor. It's like a Chrome browser, but I get to resize the window and frame. When I do, I get to see how different things respond in different viewports. Then I can double click the element at the top here for the app, and I can see exactly how this component is put together and its nesting. That's pretty nifty. And if I select here at the bottom, I get to actually see the raw code and how this component is programmed. And on the right hand side, I have this inspector that allows me to check out the properties and styling and much more for each one of the components. That's a pretty good start. On top of that, I can still customize this
I don't
editor
understand
and
how
this
this is
viewport, allowing me
different
to take away the
than
grid lines as well as the rulers, preview
Chrome
the project,
tools.
as well as change the actual size of the window. And on the top left, I have a quick add option that allows me to add different HTML elements such as divs, spans, images, videos, forms, or even components from other parts of the project. I could also add external libraries too, such as semantic UI. Now for the part that really blew my mind, which is actually creating this entire component in React visually without writing any lines of code. I headed back to the homepage and selected to create a new component. I want to create a component, which is basically a preview of a video for my project. I also
So you
want
can
one
actually
for a chat
make
log as well as a
components
button and a message
visually.
log. But the video preview seems easy enough, so I'm gonna start there. This empty page isn't very interesting. Let me add an element. I'll add an image to start off with. This image comes with an example, but I'm gonna change this by changing the source address. I'll use the panel here on the right, which is for properties, and I'll change the address to this thumbnail that I saw earlier that I liked. If I take a look at the code below, then I can actually see that the source address has been updated in terms of the syntax. And I also want to style this image because right now it's taking up the entire screen. So what I'm gonna do is on the right hand side, I'm gonna select styles and add a class. For this class, I'm just going to call it thumbnail. This will add a CSS class, which now allows for customizing styling, which is now available to me on the right hand side panel. There are quite a few different options here. Options for layout, position, spacing. First, I'm gonna change the default width to be 100%. Now, if I resize the frame, the image resizes alongside it. I can search up a CSS property. In this case,
I wonder
want
what
to
the
change
code
border
looks like.
radius. I'm gonna change it to have 20 pixels around the corners, and now this looks much more like a thumbnail from YouTube. I still need to add in a title as well as the author and their profile pic. First, I'll add in a div block. This can be the title. Next, I'll add in one more div block. I'll also add an image, and this will be the profile for the user. I'll set the class name for this to avatar. I'll put the width and height as 64 pixels with a border radius of 30 pixels. For the parent div, I'm going to create a class called author holder, and here for this class, I'm going to select the display type to be flex. Also select align items to center, so it looks well aligned in the center. Additionally, it needs a little bit of a padding or margin for the image as well as the text. So here on the avatar, I'll select the margin to be on the right. The title for the video right now is also too small, so I'm going to create a style here called a title, and what I'm going to do is create a font size which is much larger so that it stands out more. I'm also going to do the same for the author text, creating a class for it and setting the font size to be a little bit smaller at 0.9 rem. And now this video component is now done. I can resize the frame to see how it would look in different viewports and make minor adjustments so it works in all of them. Another thing that I found useful is that I can still code while using Codex, which means that I can open up Visual Studio Code on the left hand side and Codex on the right hand side. I'm going to open up the file of the component I'm currently working on. First, I'm going to add some code here to add the views as well as the release date of the video. I can add some CSS easily by adding in a class name, and then I can jump into the SCSS file, add the same class name, and add some styling to make the font size a little bit smaller, as well as adding in some opacity. I want to add in some props that I can pass for the author name as well as the title for the video. So what I'm going to do is turn these into expressions. I'm going to call this author title as well as title. I'll pass these into TypeScript so that we're aware that these are strings, and then I'll add in a default state for each one of these so that if there's no passed props, then they'll default just to the Codex channel. You can see that the user interface automatically updates as soon as I add these in. And now let me see if I can customize them. I'm going to go into the parent board here and
this is like
props. I can now have the author as Adrian Twarog and the title as a VR web
so
designer.
he's editing the code that it made for him.
URL as well as the author profile pic. I want to create a dashboard now. I'm going to head back to the homepage and create a new component. This component I'm just going to call dashboard. For this component, I'm going to start off adding the existing component I made earlier. So here I'll add from my components the video board component. What's great is that I can now customize this component within the structure of this new dashboard. For the dashboard, I'll change the width to be a little bit smaller at 480 pixels so that I can see my video in there. But now I want to add another video in. I'm going to select from components to add one more component of the video, and you can see them back to back here. The only issue is that there's no gap between them and their size is a little bit small. I'll add a gap here so that you can see the space between them at around 20 pixels. And the other thing I'll do is change the root element to now be a little bit larger. Instead of 480 pixels, I'll change the width to 640. This is looking much better. Let me add in a few more of the video components because a normal YouTube dashboard has about 4 of them. I'll increase the width of the page to 128 pixels this time, and now I can use some of the power of codecs as well as React together, such as customizing props and passing them through the higher component. I'll give each one of these videos their own avatar as well as thumbnail and video title. What's interesting now is I can double click on one of these components and change the structure. For example, I could move this div above the current author, and the updated design will actually apply on all the other components in the dashboard. And this is exactly how you would expect React to work, except now I don't have to write the code for this, I can just customize all of this visually. I'd like to thank the team from Codex for sponsoring today's video. Codex was really cool to check out, and I hope you guys found it quite interesting as well.
Interesting. I actually don't know if I want to use it. I'm not sure if it's making things, if it's actually speeding up development. It's hard to say. It looks nice visually, but really what I care most about is how fast I can develop. So if I'm not developing any faster, I don't know if I would be interested in something like that. But anyways, then what I'm really trying to figure out right now is how to get the animation working on this prefab I got that I imported from Visual Studio. Because if I can, because the models from Visual Studio are pretty nice, and I don't have to pay anything. Otherwise, models like these cost a couple $100s, and so each usually. So if I could just use one, make them in Vroid Studio, import them into Unity, and then animate them. So I tried giving them an animator, having issues. So that means I have to figure out what is going on. So I gotta figure out how an animator maps to a prefab's bone structure. Yeah. And now we're in idle mode. And idle does stuff. But I'm not sure, actually not sure how it's mapping. Let me turn this off. We have the first waifu here. So yeah, I wonder, maybe there's an animator we can use. I don't have any errors, right? Right, okay. Maybe there's a special animator out there for Vroid Studio. But ChatGPT is giving me some info I asked. How do I know if an animator I have will work with the specific prefab I have? What determines whether an animator is compatible with a prefab or not? So that, I guess that's the fundamental issue I'm having. So a couple things: animations, rigging, and bones. I'm just gonna pre-roll on that for now. Give me a sec. I'll be back. Taking a little break. We'll be back after. I'll keep talking after the ad ends. $20. 20 seconds left. All right. So animation rigging and bone. Check if the animator says we're with the same bone structure as the prefab. The animator expects a different bone hierarchy or structure may not be incompatible. Okay, so we should check that first. Actually, that makes a lot of sense. That does make a lot of sense. Huh. The bone structure. I'm trying to open it up. Open it. There's screen somewhere. This is what's opening up, but body animation layer. Mask none. Huh. How do I know? How do I even find that out? I'm just gonna be like, how do I do this in Unity? Unity, you can check and adjust the bone structure and hierarchy with Animator to match your prefab by following these steps. Open your Animator controller. Click the game object that has the Animator component attached. In the inspector window, find the Animator component. Click on the controller field to open the Animator controller associated with the game object in your Animator controller window. You can see the Animator state machine transition. Check for any animation states that are linked to specific bones or objects within your character model. Pay attention to the avatar mask and right default options. Avatar mask and right defaults. There's right defaults. I don't see avatar mask. Just gonna affect which bones. Any animation states. Here's a transition. Here's idle. I'm not sure what right defaults do. What do right defaults do? I also don't see a mask. See a lot of transitions as exit time. I see a mask. Avatar mask. Oh yeah, I see the avatar mask over here. Unity's animators. Let me copy that real quick. But in Unity animators component, the right default option determines where the animator should write the default values of the animated properties. Such as position, rotation, and scale to the object's transform. This option can be found within the animator's component settings in the inspector window. Animator's component settings. Excuse me, sorry. When this option is enabled, the checkbox is checked. The animator will continuously update the transform properties of the game object it's attached to. Even when no animations are playing. This means that the game object's position, rotation, and scale will be set to their default values according to the animator's animation curves or values. If you have animation curves that affect the object's properties, enabling by default to ensure that these properties revert to their default values when the animator is not actively animating them. When it's disabled, the animator won't continually update the transform properties of the game object. But no animations are playing. In this case, the game object properties will remain at their last animated values when no animations are active. You have an animation curves. If you have animation curves that affect the object's properties, disabling right defaults means that these properties will retain their last animated state when animations stop playing. Okay. Retain the last animated state. Oh, okay. A specific enabling case when you want the object to revert to its default state, where the character should return to its default pose when no animations are applied. However, for other cases where you want the object to hold its last animated state, when animations stop, you may choose to disable right defaults. Okay. That's a lot for one little checkbox. Pay attention to the avatar mask. Mine isn't set to anything. Should I set it? Whether or not you should set the avatar. Actually, you know what? I am going to change titles. Learning the animator. Oh. Right. Alrighty then. Whether or not you should set the avatar mask in your Unity Animator depends on your specific needs and the behavior you want to achieve with your animations. Here's an explanation of the avatar mask and when you might want to use it. An avatar mask is essentially a way to define a subset of characters' bones that should be affected by animations. It allows you to restrict which bones are influenced by the animation. Essentially a way to define a subset of a character's bones that should be affected by animations. It allows you to restrict which bones are influenced by the animation, providing finer control over how animations affect different parts of a character or object. Here are some scenarios which you might want to consider using an avatar mask. Okay. You're not working with the specific requirements like that was mentioned above. You may not need to set an avatar mask in many cases, especially with simple animations or characters. Leaving the avatar mask empty or unset is perfectly fine. The absence of an avatar mask means that the animation will affect all bones associated with the character's rig. In summary, does the mask provide which bones can move, or does it hide certain bones? Which the avatar mask Unity specifies which bones can move rather than hiding or preventing certain bones. It allows you to control the influence of animation on specific bones within the character's rig. Here's how it works. If you want to prevent certain bones from being affected by an animation, you can include these bones from the avatar mask. This exclusion means that the animation won't change the positions or rotations of the excluded bones, effectively freezing them in their current state. Okay, so looks like I don't need an avatar mask. But my animator controller review, check for any states that are linked. So if in case anyone's wondering, I'm trying to figure out how to get this animator to work with this prefab I got for this anime character. And I snagged an animator from a different character that I have, and I was hoping it would just work on this one, but you know, I guess it ain't that easy. So I'll have to figure out whether I can adapt this animator controller to this prefab or whether I have to just get a brand new one or make my own even. But I don't know enough yet to figure that out, so I am just asking ChatGPT a bunch of questions. But I think the avatar has something important to do with how the animator functions. So that is actually one question I should probably ask ChatGPT. So let's see. In Unity uses an avatar to define the bond structure and hierarchy of a character. Ensure that the avatar used by your animator is set up. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna play a little bit of music. Just not too loud. Just a little music. It's slushy, so can't be bad. Unity uses avatar define component structure. Okay, yeah. Ensure that the avatar used by your animator is set up correctly to match the bone structure of your prefab. To do this, select the game object with the animator component. In the inspector, find the avatar field under the game component. Click the configure avatar button to open the configuration window. Open? That's not doing anything. Open ain't doing anything. Unless there's a window somewhere I don't see. What? Hold up, that's what it said to do. Find the avatar field. Okay, let's go back. And I'm gonna just stop this for a second. And I'm going to... Okay, it says click on this. Root motion. I wonder what this does. Automatically move the object using the root motion from the animations. Let me look at my other prefab. Let's look at Sappy-chan. Prefab. Where is Sappy-chan? I thought she would be in here. Object? What kind of files are these? Art import? Okay, I guess that's it. And doesn't look like it's playing root motion on there. Let me switch scenes to this scene. And she has a lot of stuff in here. Sappy art and Chan Anim Manager. Okay. Update mode normal and cooling mode is cool update transforms, and she's not applying root motion. So this one is working. This prefab works. She can move with the animator that she has. Trying to get this new one to work also. I would like all my waifus to be able to move. Being cute's not enough in this economy. You gotta be able to move. Let's go back to the scene. Update mode, normal, culling mode, always animate. Okay. I don't think these really matter. Culling mode is only when it goes behind an object, I guess, right? What is object when what is update when the object is being called? Update mode. Okay, so I really should look into this. Whoopsies, what the heck did I just do? Doing a full search of the folder might have been deleted or belonged to another project. You want to delete this favorite. That's another project. Okay. Okay. VRM. So wait a second. VRM meta script. still don't know what a VRM file is completely. Probably do my homework a little more. Alright. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what even. So how do I open a .avatar file? I don't see this configure avatar button at all, so I need ChatGPT to explain himself. Apologize, but I cannot physically interact. Select the game object in your Unity scene hierarchy that has the animator component attached. Then the animator control component, you should see a controller field. Shows the currently assigned animator controller. Okay, next to controller field, there is a small gear icon settings. Click on the gear icon. Is there really? No, there ain't. No, there ain't. I'm right here. There's a controller. I see this. That's not a gear. That's a search button. Freaking ChatGPT is cracked on me. ChatGPT ain't know what's talking about. There's no small gear. Icon. WTF. Like the game object in your Unity scene hierarchy that has the animal component. Okay, I can't handle this music. Let's switch or lower it. I'm just gonna lower it a lot. In the inspector window, find the animated component next to the avatar field. Click this on the small drop down arrow. This should expand the menu. What in the name of drugs is ChatGPT telling me to do? Because none of this is real. It's not there either. I'm on Unity 2021.3. Process for configuring avatars may differ depending on the context and type of the assets you're working with. If you're working with a 3D model or a character that has a humanoid rig, Unity may automatically configure the avatar correctly. Need for manual configuration in cases. Unity's humanoid rigging system. Unity often handles avatar configuration automatically. Recognize the humanoid rig and set up the avatar accordingly. Okay. How do I open? Can I open a .avatar file? Usually for human animations interactions, they are not meant to be manually edited or opened like traditional assets files. To work with avatars in Unity, you typically create or configure them within Unity Animator system, or by importing humanoid characters that Unity recognizes and sets up automatically. If you're trying to work with or configure a character's avatar in Unity, you typically do so through the Unity editor using the methods mentioned earlier in this conversation, such as activate configure avatars to be an animator components inspector window. Animator components inspector window. Okay. Let me check something here. We go here. Go to the animator. Click on the controller. Click open. Nope. So this is the animator. Why is the open just not doing anything? What kind of file is this anyway? Will it tell me? Properties? It's a dot controller button. I mean, dot controller. Okay. Body animation layer. I'm gonna lower the volume just a little bit again. Okay. I really gotta figure out what bone structure it's expecting and what bone to see if it's different from the bone structure that we actually have. So that is my main investigation right now. Trying to figure out how to do that. So how do I find out if an Animator app is compatible with the bone structure or with a prefab bone structure that I have? Now with the prefab bone structure, you can follow these steps. Review Animator and prefab documentation. Inspect prefab, inspect the Animator. There is an Animator and an avatar. I mean, Unity will automatically create the avatar based on the model's bones. Review the avatar's settings. How do I open that? I still don't know how to open up those settings. Properties. Okay, maybe I have to go Google this. The avatar settings. The avatar settings. Unity. Alright. Let's just take a quick ad break then. Give me a minute. We'll be back. Will continue in a minute. Actually, don't know if anyone is not in an ad right now. I wonder who didn't get hit with the ad. I think the music just starts off loud every time. I'm gonna set this lower, set the music lower to even. It's at 5%. It was only at 5%. I'm saying it's 2%. It's kind of crazy. But it's just so freaking loud. Let me see. Alright, the ad's done. I'm gonna charge my phone. Let's see. Configuring the avatar. Here we go. Since avatar is such an important aspect of the mechanism system, it's important that it's configured properly for your model. So whether you have an automatic avatar creation fails or succeed, you need to go into the configure avatar mode to ensure your avatar is valid and properly set up. Whoa, what happened to the heck? Did this go full screen on me? Okay, that was funky. Anyways, well, you need to go into the configure avatar mode to ensure your avatar is valid and properly set up. It is important that your character's bone structure matches the mechanism's predefined bone structure and that the model is in T-pose. Model in T-pose? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. You will see a cross next to the configure button. If it succeeds, you'll see a check tick mark. How do I go to configure avatar mode? When you go to the configure menu, the editor will ask you to save your scene. Is that then configure mode, the scene view is used to display bone modes and animation for the selected model alone. I'll explain the rest of the scene. Once you have to save the scene, you'll see an avatar creation connected with the bone mapper. I don't see. Let me see. The rig tag of the model importer options. Model importer options. Yeah, I don't see any of that. Check new Uni V on M version. Meta. What the heck is this? Oh, meta info. Scriptable object. Okay. Create a thumbnail image. No description. That. What is this for? Are there any changes in my model? Just the controller and Unity front scene. Okay. So what is this supposed to do? There's not that much in here actually. On validate, reset. Huh. Description. Okay. So what really matters is just this animator thing, making sure it works. Goes to root here, there's nothing. Nope, nope, nope. Okay. Okay. I really need to figure out how to open this avatar. Let's see. Maybe I gotta Google something. Can't configure avatar in Unity. No configure avatar option. How do we even get to this part? I create a mesh. Avatar does not have this button. Is this a really old version of Unity? I guess so. This looks a lot different. How come I'm just not able to open this? I wonder if I should restart Unity or something. You know what? I'm just gonna restart Unity. Just to make sure, just for sanity. Because I do remember being able to open up something with that open up button. Let's see. Use registration. Open DRM avatar. Open. Ain't nothing happening. Okay. Map. This is rough, guys. Okay, what if I go to Daffy Chan and I look for her avatar? What is this? These are import settings. These are import settings. Oh, these are import settings. And this looks familiar. Wait a second. Legs, mech, inner, outer. Am I missing all this stuff on my other avatar? Prefab, no. Object. Material, no. Okay, where's the avatar? Let me go to. Where's the object? Let me look for this avatar. There it is. It is an FBX file. Oh. Wait a minute. That's different. That's interesting because the other avatar is this is not an FBX file, it's a .avatar file. What the hell? Is it okay that my avatar is a .avatar file and not .fbx? Using an avatar profile for your avatar character's configuration in Unity is perfectly fine and often the standard approach when working with humanoid characters animation. Unity stores avatar configuration and avatar files. These files are used to find out animations that interact with characters' bone structure. Here's some key points. So let me see something. Avatar description: human bone. Okay. This seems like the right stuff. Meshes. Meta. Yeah, textures, okay. We got textures, we got the playing texture. The animator. And the avatar. So we got an avatar description. So maybe this is what the avatar is using. I just don't know how yet. Just don't see how exactly it's working. Get description. The script really doesn't do much. On validate avatar dot is human. The inside dot avatar file unity. Unity avatar to dot avatar file. Seems dot avatar is a Beat Saber format, and Unity won't support it out of the box. Dot avatar is Beat Saber. What is a... Okay. Now I'm questioning if the dot avatar file is actually a thing. From Unity into Blender. Create a format avatar to get into Beat Saber. Unity avatar is compatible online games. Porting from Unity to Blender. Where's the rig tab? I wonder what this script does. It seems kind of important. Avatar is valid. Avatar. Class VRM humanoid description. Okay. Let's create a false. Return description. Unity humanoid avatar description. So that's what this is. I guess. Can I open it? How come this open button literally does nothing? Okay. Okay, sorry about the yawning. I guess. Blend shape avatar. Expression. What is a... What the heck? No, stop. Okay. What is an avatar description? Let me check it out. This is inside UniGLTF runtime. Avatar description. What the hell? Ooh, so I gotta do stuff specific for this UniVRM thing. That's what I exported from in VRoid Studio. Exported VRM, yeah. Use bones. Use polygons. Okay, polygons, 32,000. Nice. How many bones are in the human body? Who knows? Avatar description. Bone limit. The heck is a bone limit? Okay. Avatar description. Let me go back here. Perfectly fine with standard approach. While this busy done for use animation system, I recommended way to configure avatars for you characters. It generates avatar files when you snap between rigging for your 3D models of Unity. Using avatar files simplifies the process of configuring avatars, as Unity handles much of the work automatically. While FX files are commonly used for 3D models, avatar files are a separate format dedicated to avatar configuration. They should not be confused with FBX files. Should work seamlessly. I imported my model from a VRM file using UniVRM. What are the steps to... Yeah, I'll just say that for now. I'll just say that. Thank you for providing more context. When you import a 3D model from a VRM virtual reality model while using UniVRM package in Unity, it typically includes the necessary avatar configuration. UniVRM is a Unity package designed specifically for handling VRM files, which often contain humanoid characters with animations. In this case, does it come with animations? I don't think it did. Yeah, I don't think so. I had to give it animation. In this case, wait a minute. I thought it did come with the animations. Am I missing something? Runtime, editor, VRM, GLF, faders. I did come with animations. Now that I think about it. My microphone's kind of far away from me right now. You move closer? Okay. Now that I think about it. Given that you imported your model using UniVRM, you should be in good shape regarding avatar compatibility. You with the assistance of UniVRM should have automatically handled the avatar configuration for your VRM model. You can proceed with animating and working with your VRM character with Unity without needing to manually configure the avatar. If you encounter any specific issues or have a question related to working with VRM files in Unity, it would be helpful to refer to UniVRM's community documentation and community resources, as they may provide additional guidance and best practices for working with VRM assets in Unity. Virtual. What does a VRM file have that is different from a normal game object? And does UniVRM convert it to a normal game object? Virtual reality model file is a specific file format used for 3D models, primarily designed for use in virtual reality and augmented reality applications. VRM files have some differences from a standard game object in Unity, and when you import a VRM file using the UniVRM package in Unity, it does convert it into a Unity game object. Here's an overview of these differences. VRM file before import. 3D model. A VRM file typically contains a 3D model of a character or object. This model may include mesh data, textures, materials, and skeleton information. Animation data. VRM files can include animation data, allowing the 3D model to be animated. These animations may be humanoid animations, blend shapes, or other types. Why didn't it come with any? Oh, it did come with blend shapes. Hold up, what? How does this stuff work? I just noticed I had all this stuff. Hold up. Look down. Look left. Look right. I guess, okay. These aren't really animations. These are just changing the face. To me, an animation is more like running or something, or jumping. These are all facial animations. Okay. Let's keep exploring. VRM files can med information. VRM files often include metadata, such as the model's name, author information, licensing details. Okay. That's what that is. Avatar configuration. VRM file may contain some information about the character's team bone structure and how animation should be applied to it. However, this information is often not in a format directly usable by Unity. Unity representation. UniVRM converts a VRM file into a Unity game object. The game object becomes part of your Unity project and can be manipulated and animated with the Unity scene. Avatar configuration. UniVRM automatically generates an avatar configuration within Unity for the imported VRM character. It maps the VRM's character's bone structure to Unity's humanoid rig, making it compatible with Unity's animation system. That's the part I'm having issues with. UniVRM handles integration of animations from the VRM file into Unity's animation system, including setting up the animator controller and configuring animation clips. Yeah, it didn't do that either. The animation controller was empty when I saw it. And I added something to it myself. Clearly something's happening. Increase T-pose, save Springbone to JSON. Import from VRM, export from VRM, experimental. All I have is export here. Import from GLTS, okay. Okay. So I still got still gotta figure some stuff out, looks like. Yeah, it's not working. Okay. Yeah, I don't know to add animations to this model. It has a weird setup with the description stuff. Using humanoid description. Which is this thing? Avatar description. To do bone limit .cs. Japanese characters. There is a to do. Okay, I'm just gonna post this into ChatGPT because I think this script interacts with the avatar somehow. Bam! Glad it fit. What's this? Humanoid assembly definition. GLTF utils. What's our description? Human. Hips. Right upper leg. We got hips. We got right upper leg. Yup. Has translation. DLF. So this is like the bone structure info, but I don't think it's like being applied to unities to the avatar. I don't see how it links up to the avatar. All I see is this VRM, this humanoid description script, which I don't know. What that does, if it does anything. But look inside here. If avatar is not equal null, is create equals true. Return create from avatar. So it's creating a description. It's already on the prefab. It looks like it's already set. Yeah. Avatar is like a null. Get description. Where is this being called? I don't see this actually even being called. Hold up. It's getting called somewhere. VRM exporter. Okay. So that's only there for the exporter. Unvalidate this. Editor only function that Unity calls when the script is loaded or value changes in the expector. Editor only. Or value changes in the inspector. Interesting. Reset. Reset the default values. This is also an event function. Animator get component if animator equals null return. If avatar equals animator dot avatar. Okay. Okay. Alright, I gotta play an ad real quick. Bear with me, guys. Be back in a minute. Thank you. Okay, I think the ad's over now. Back to this stuff. The avatar. I'm not sure. There's a whole avatar description here. I'm not sure what that does. But it definitely has a lot of values. That is for sure. And let me see. So humanoid avatar description. Yeah, it's this stuff. Oh, 4. Theory provided appears to be a part of... What did I even provide? Avatar description, scriptable object. Oh, it indeed, that is it. Theory provided appears to be part of the unique humanoid packages, the unique packages for working with humanoid characters and avatars. That's just the name of the namespace. It's not a package. I have a package called Unique Humanoid. Hold up. Where is that? Where is that file anyway? Where is this file anyway? It's in the UniGLTF runtime. Unique Humanoid, yeah, there it is. Yep, okay. Okay, we're gonna find out how to animate this waifu one way or the other. Overall, this script provides functionality related to configuring and creating avatars, working with humanoid bone limits, and extracting humanoid description data from imported assets. Primarily for use with humanoid characters and animations, the community appears to be part of a larger system designed to simplify the process of working with humanoid characters and avatars. Okay. Hopefully. Body. Hair, secondary. Spring bone. What is all this? Lots of hairs. And we have a skirt. I don't know what that does. Spring bone. Bust? These are gizmos? I guess that's what the gizmos are. Root. Okay. Okay. Redistribution prohibited. Anyways. What the heck do I do with this avatar? Only have 2 controllers in this all my assets, so I need a special controller. Do I need a special animator to work with UniVRM? The one I have doesn't work. To work with the UniVRM human characters, work for VRM files, you do not need a special animator. You need standard animated components to work for animating human characters created using your existing animator not working as expected. Enable ensure correct setup. Select the character in the hierarchy, go to the rig tab in the inspector. Ensure the animation type is set to humanoid. Go to the rig tab in the what? With its selected character in the hierarchy, go to the rig tab in the inspector. Select your character in the hierarchy. Rig tab? What the hell is a rig tab? I don't know what that is. I've never seen one. At least I don't have one. Where is the rig tab? I don't see it. What I meant to convey is that when you select a human character in Unity's hierarchy, when you should see an animated component in the inspector, and within this component is a section where you can configure the character's rig. Hey, freedom down, how's it going? I did a Wheatie. What's a Wheatie? Can I have one? What is that? I want one. Oh. Rip bros. Is this a rip times, bros? Alright. We all go through some hard times, but we'll get through them. I got orangutan THC. That's cool. My face froze? What happened to my face? Is it better? Oh shit, you're right. What the hell? That's weird. Okay, let me fix that. Let me fix. I'm just gonna deactivate my face real quick. And activate it. Okay, there we go. Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my microphone, but we are back in. You're gonna do a couple more? Dang, dude. I wish I had some orangutans also to do THC with. Shoot, that sounds like a blazingly good time. I am jealous supremely. Feels like I'm on a cloud, not gonna lie. Whew, brother. That is good stuff. Select your character. Inspector window. I'm trying to animate this character I got here. Having little troubles. Let's see. Something's wrong with my avatar, I think. Let me see. Do you know it was Jippity's birthday? It was? Dang. Happy birthday, Chad Jippity. Let's see. I'm just gonna say happy birthday. Thank you for your birthday wishes. If it's your birthday, oh snap! Hey Nick, thanks for the raid. Oh snap! Thanks for the yeah. How's it going? You. Welcome to he got Terminator up. I got Terminator up, and yeah, we're hanging out with orangutans. Okay, what I'm really doing is trying to get my model to move. I've been trying so hard to get this model to like move correctly, because that would be a huge milestone in the Waifu Island Paradise Adventure game that I'm going to make, version 3. You know what I'm saying? It's for a good cause. Don't get me wrong. It's for a good cause. Alright? Can you think of a more noble cause than having animated waifus? I got an API if you want to try the latest super model. The latest super modal. Not model, it's modal. Apparently. Super modal. But yeah, anyways, yeah. What we are helping weebs all over the world right now. Making their dreams come true. If you can make someone's dreams come true, wouldn't you do it? Or wouldn't you not do it? I don't know. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Thank you again for the raid. It's kind of crazy. It be just come up with stuff. You're launching a website next week. Awesome, awesome. Can't wait. I hope it's not in React. I hope it's in HTMX, because we make good decisions in the simulation, which is where we're at. It's in Hugo? Okay, well, that's good. Anything that's not React, really. And definitely not Angular. Static site overloads. Sweet. And please know, what's that website that lets you create websites? Like with the UI? What is it called? Wix? Am I making shit up over here? Configure. Okay, within the Animator component, you should see various settings related to characters, rigs, and animation type to be fun avatar, update mode, and cooling mode. This is where you can configure characters' rigs. Okay, where is that? Within the Animator component, you should see various settings related to characters, rig, and animation. I don't see this part. Let me see. Don't see this. Seriously, am I seriously missing something? This is the Animator component. We're in there. There's literally nothing in here. I don't know what to do. It ain't giving me anything. Let me see. And then the avatar ain't helping either. Can I open this file in my IDE? Let me see something. I'm gonna inspect the content. Okay. Let me just go into here. What in the world happened to my folder structure? I'm in assembly? Okay, there we go. This is a code editor program called Writer. Let's see, two cool programming stuffs. That's what I'm looking at, and I'm trying to look at this file. I'm not even sure if you're supposed to even open it this way. I am new to making animations with Unity, so we're trying to figure that out right now, but it's in the assets, prefabs. Okay, prefabs. and then avatar, and then this dot asset file. Holy shit. This is a giant YAML file. And it does look like there is info in here. That's weird. Oh snaps, it is a dot asset file. Wait a second. I confused myself then. Wait a second. Too many breaky things. Have you tried the new Gemini Google? They got super modal. I gave them. I gave them a new chunker, and it's good. It's kind of weak on code, but most stuff it's good. Try the new Gemini, Genmimi Google. Dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, Bard? You're talking about Bard? Okay. Yeah, I tried Bard. Bought a few times. Don't open on stream. Why not? Bard got Gemini, it's new. Genmi? I think you mean Gemini, right? How come I can't open on the stream? It's because it has my location on here? It does. What the heck? I mean, you'll find out I live in San Francisco, I guess. Which isn't a big deal. Apparently now it's better now with Gemini. But I just told everybody, so does it even matter? Okay. So y'all, if you really want to find me, Bard extensions, Google Flights. You read my mind though. Don't need spelling. Okay, spelling, yeah. No one knows how to spell San Francisco, I guess. Alrighty then. Avatar configuration UniVRM. UniVRM gives a .asset file for the avatar. Does that sound right? Yes, sounds correct. The UniVRM provides a .asset file for the avatar. When you import a VRM model using UniVRM in Unity, it automatically generates and stores the avatar configuration in the .asset file. This .asset file is specifically designed to work with Unity's animation system and is used to define how the animation should interact with the character's humanoid bone structure. Okay. Still don't see. If you don't see in the configure rig or similar things in the Unity Animator component, it's possible that the UniVRM character you import has a different setup, or that UniVRM handles avatar configuration differently. UniVRM may handle some aspects of avatar configuration automatically, simplifying the process for you. Here's some steps. I'm going to simplify the process of working with VRM characters. Check if there are any UniVRM specific component configuration in the inspector. I guess there is this stuff which has the bone structure of the model, but I'm trying to figure out, you know what? I'm gonna go to GPT-4, and instead of trying to describe shit, I'm just going to give it screenshots of what I'm dealing with. Isn't that the most genius move ever? Let's see if it pays off. I got this avatar description. How do I interact with it using an animator controller in Unity? I got a .asset file from UniVRM after converting it from a VRM file to game object into prefab, then help. Screenshot you provided proponent. Okay, in case anyone's wondering who's new to the stream, I stream video game development and a video game developer by profession. You can call me a professional video game developer, you might say. You may or may say. Did I say I was professional? Okay, anyways, I'm a video game developer, so we're trying to animate the waifus so we can weeb out the video game. But for my job, I work on Pokemon Go. Unfortunately, I can't work on Pokemon Go on the stream, so we're working with the waifus. I got this avatar. The screenshot you provided looks like a component from Unity's inspector window, detailing an avatar's bone structure for animation purposes. To interact with this using an Animator controller in Unity, you would typically follow these steps. Create, locate the Animator controller. If you don't already have an Animator controller, you will need to create one in your Unity project. Attach the Animator controller to your avatar. Select your avatar, prefab in the C in the project window inspector. Find an avatar animated component. If it's not there, add component. Set the animation states. Create parameters and transitions. Control. I attach an animator, but it doesn't move the prefab. Okay, let's go back to the play scene. Let's play this thing. Pokemon Go. Yeah, that's right. That is right. Let me see. Blend a shape avatar. Got a lot of stuff here. But really, I need to figure out what's going on here. Auto live link. What if I do this and then I do this? It does open it back up. Okay, what if I close this again and I go to here and I try to open it? Does anything open? No. Okay. Interesting. I'm gonna go back to controller. Give me this out here since it's generalist window. We are in idle mode, and for some reason, she is in the floor. The animator is not working. I got an idea. We should make a game on a game on day. Should make a game on day. Make a game. Was that? Explain what you mean by that. Sounds interesting. Called the game day. Oh, you should. You mean you want to make a game? You want to make a holiday? You can only play it at night. What? That's confusing. Why is it called game day then? It should be called night day. I mean night. What? Now I'm confusing myself. Night game? Not game, just day. Call it day, but you can only play it at night. Can get this. It used thermal. Okay. Controller. If I try to jump, let's try to jump to state. That avatar didn't do anything. So if I to look at this thing, maybe. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Hips, scale, rotation. There is a lot of animation info in here. The main object should match file name. The main object name should match the asset file name. I don't know, what does that mean? Hold up, let me check something. This is an asset file, that's ginormous. And I changed prefab and controller. That's fine. You go back to idle, fix object name. What does that do? What does that do? What does that do? I don't know what that did. Apparently it fixed something. I hope. Open? Jeez, look at this. This is a lot. Animations involve a lot. I don't even know how to read this. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Okay, hold up. I am going to restore that file because I'm about to, I don't know what I did. Fix object name. Okay. Fixed idle object name. Apparently. I'm just gonna push that. But I don't know what this did. Reset? What did that do? Did it do anything? Loop time? Open. It must stop playing. And go back to the animator. Let me click on this again. This doesn't give me anything for some reason. No animatable objects selected. Basically, the game day, you gotta guess what the person behind the wall is doing using the thermal camera and quantum beam splitter. Oh my goodness, I got a skybox. Can you add her into the skybox? You got a skybox? Yeah? Got one? How are you gonna send it to me? On Discord? Okay. Why is this empty? Let's see. Animator. Controller. Idle. There's that. For some reason, I have to click on this for it to show us stuff. Neck. Outer skirt. Hips. I don't know if yeah. These aren't mapping quite the same. Oh man. Okay. I'm gonna Google something here. I'm gonna Google. I gotta roll the ads real quick too. Hold up. What I need to check is UniVRM Animator. No Animator in export route. Is that animation type to humanoid? Hold up, let me see this. Inspector. Where are those import settings? I Actually, I need to find those import settings. Because I feel like that's at the source of everything I'm having issues with. Just don't see on. Hopefully I didn't miss something. I think so. Can I search import settings here? Import settings. That didn't work. Dot import. I think that's what I'm missing is the import settings. Because the other one has import settings. Taffy Chan gets her import settings. And that seems like an issue. Prefab asset. Open. Avatar. No, I need to open that, but yeah, look at that. It has all this stuff with it. Prefab. Solar. Avatar. The avatar it has a bunch of cool stuff with it. Yeah, okay, hold up. You can add her into the skybox. Did my camera freeze again? I think it did, huh? What the heck? Is it overheating? Might be overheating a little bit. Weirdness, okay. Weirdness. We got all these import settings. Animation. Humanoid. Model rig. I am missing these import settings. Back to Google. Maybe materials? No. Object? No. Mesh is new. Avatar? Avatar is by itself, which is scary. Okay. I gotta keep digging. Got one with watermarks, but I can make more without them, but it's just C. But it's just to see. The skybox goes in here, right? I think the skybox goes in the... Wait. No, wait. Where does the skybox go? How do I even add a skybox? I thought it was on the camera, but now that I think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Let me ask ChatGPT. How do I change the skybox in Unity? Import or create a skybox. Use default skybox. Set up skybox material. Import or create a skybox. Set up the skybox. Can be created using 6-sided cube maps or spherical textures. Make sure it's set up correctly. You should use a shader that's compatible with skyboxes, such as the skybox 6-sided shader for cube maps, or skybox panorama for spherical textures. Assign a skybox material to the environment. Select the window menu, choose rendering, and then select lighting. Window, rendering, lighting, environment. Oh snaps! This is where the skybox goes. Oh damn! That's weird. What the heck? I have a room? I have a ballroom? Somehow? How does that work? What the hell? Literally in the ballroom. We're in the ballroom. That's hilarious. Hold up. Let me grab it. File.io. Let's see. Can you just send that to me on Discord so I can download it? Por favor. Discord has makes things a lot easier for me to download. How to generate 360 panoramic skybox, open source stable diffusion web UI. What the heck? That is the craziest shit I've read today. How do you find out all these crazy things? That's crazy. It's too big for Discord? Dang it. How big is it? Building supermodels. File.io. I see. Made one just for my setup. File. What's the... Thousands of scenes, dang. That's crazy. Hold up. Let me see. How do I safely download that file? Gotta figure it out. How secure is file.io? Load and share files temporarily? Files uploaded to file.io are typically deleted after a certain period of time, and the server is designed for short-term sharing rather than long-term storage. Can be concerned, it's important to understand its limitations. Privacy concerns, limited control. Interesting. Got ballroom. Preview and test. Oh wait, Udemy Animator. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Googling. Trying to figure out how to get the animator. No animator in export route. I'm trying to export this model. What the hell is this model? Okay, that is some hilarious shit. Okay. I gotta get out of here. When I try to export this model to VRM format, it tells me that no animator in export route, and I don't know what it means, but it already happened in previous object. Thank you for reporting. Before doing VRM export, you need this is to this is to what? This is it too if you don't trust file.io. Skybox.blockadelabs.com. Okay. Let me check out this thing. What is Skybox.ai generated 3D worlds? Ooh. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's cool. That is pretty neat. I wonder how I use it. What's this? That's really cool. Welcome. I've read it soon. Get started. Imagine and fine-tune any 360 world. Skybox AI uses AI to generate full 360-degree panoramic images. Get started. Watercolor. But what's generate to? The image you gave me is that cube in 3D format. You can download a mesh. So you can download a mesh. Make a 3D world. Alright, it's generate. Alright, well that's doing stuff. Let me keep debugging this thing. A little stale. No avatar in the animator. Oh wait. Avatar or controller. Fixed. Eroge. Explore when the model container animator. Let me see. On like see animation clips. More reference. Right, let's see. Whoa. This thing froze on me? So now that it's generated, what happened? I gotta download it. Equitangular JPEG or PNG. Okay. Almost there. Then I guess I have to do each one of these. Depth map. Well, this is taking a second. Oh, okay. This is done now. Let's do downloads. Okay. So can I use that as a skybox now? Is that the deal? Let's see. So scenes. I'll just drop it in the scenes area. Why do I have a video in here? Downloads. Oh, wait a second. Okay, let's get that in here. And let's go back to the skybox stuff. Let's try the watercolor. Oh, I don't think I can use it just yet. Do I have to change this into something? If I look at this is a, so I needed to give it a shader. It's a material. Huh. I need it needs to be a material, so whoops. Delete. Let me see. I have a skybox panoramic PNG file. How do I use that in Unity as the skybox? Open Unity project and in Unity editor navigate to the assets folder. Create new material. Okay, let's create new material. I figured let's just do anime watercolor. Assign the panoramic texture to the material. Inspector. Share drop down. Okay, we're gonna assign it to the material. Wait a second, did I do this right? I don't know if that's right, but let's go here, let's go to skybox. Find panoramic texture and the shader drop down like skybox. Okay, skybox. And wait a second. Skybox. I don't have a 6-sided here. 6-sided? Oh, here we go. You'll notice 6 slots of material for each side of the slide box. Assign your panoramic PNG texture to each of these slots. You can either drag and drop then the corresponding. Okay, I see. So this goes here. I go there. I go there. Just keep dragging. Give him up. There we go. Apply skybox to the scene. An inspector window for the camera, find the skybox component. I didn't know there was. I don't think there's a skybox component in the camera. I don't see it. Yeah. Oh wait, there is. Wait, no, that's clear flags. Adjust camera settings. Main camera and this right through window for the camera. Find the skybox component. I don't have a skybox component, but I guess I can do that here. Try that. Let's go back to the game. Well, it doesn't look quite. Oh wait, this is. Wow. Something went wrong. It's something. Kind of looks freaky. But we're close. I think we gotta split each square up. Isn't it supposed to be panoramic instead of 6-sided? You are correct, I apologize. Okay. Assign the panoramic texture to the material. Okay. Panoramic. Alright. How about that then? Did it work? It looks different. Six frames layout, exposure. Is that a watermark? Just get rid of the white. Yeah, the white, let me see. I need the white there because otherwise the waifu's gonna fall off into nowhere if the plane disappears. But I think I can make it a different color, so hold up. Let's just give it a different material or something. Hold up. Ground. Like if you mesh the grid, a 3D box is what you need to make now? They will make it? Wait, why do I need to pay anything? What? Make the plane on the street? I could just make this see-through, but I just need something. I just need a physical object for the waifu to stand on. Basically. Maybe if I even remove it. There we go. I could just remove it for now. The material. And it still has a mesh collider. I think the mesh collider is still there. Okay, well, we're gonna find out, I guess, if we... I'm going to remove the controller for a second, and then I'm gonna play the game. Okay, yeah, the mesh is still there. Just don't really see it. But it looks there somewhere. It's there, it's just somewhere. And it doesn't have material. Mesh material? Guess that's not a thing. Through the new 3D world, we can also generate new images in respect of those vectors. That'd be cool, but before we jump into any of that, I really just need to figure out how to get this, get her to move before I jump into any of that stuff, because none of that will be. I wouldn't be able to use any of that if we can't even get her to move correctly. So I'm trying to focus on getting that done first, because I think that's the most important thing. So I gotta figure out how to make her move correctly. It does look pretty sweet. This is... Where did you even find this website? It is super random. Skybox.blockade labs. Okay. Build AI. I make image models, video, and also 3D objects for games AI. All right. Oh snap, Moixie, what's going on? Welcome to the stream! Whoa! 54 peeps. Yo, I didn't know you had 54 viewers on your streams now. When did you become an influencer? Oh, snaps. I'm sorry about the ads. I am so sorry about them ads that just came in. God dang. That's a whole bunch of people coming in. Alright. I'm sorry if you guys got hit with ads. Dang, I am sorry. I would teach you C+ and Blend. The best I can do is Python, and I can make a simple calculator for you guys. How do you about that? You know? You know? Okay, so if you guys don't know what I do, I'll just say real quick. I am an e-girl. No. That's not right. I am a video game developer. And I do that professionally because I work for Pokemon Go as a full stack engineer. But my main goal on this stream is to make Waifu Island Paradise V3. And so I'm trying to figure out how to get cute anime models into Unity. Ads forever? Dang it, I'm so freaking sorry. What the heck? I don't know what's going on. I should have pre-rolled those ads. Huge blunder here. Huge blunders going all around. Okay, so let me know when you guys are out of the ad so I can give you the pep talk. My main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody here. Back. Hey Chrono, how's it going? Get that money? I'm back. All right, finally we're back. Okay, so time for the pep talks. I am an e-girl, so that means you should be throwing money at me, but I'm a video game developer and I develop for Pokemon Go, but right now I'm trying to develop cute waifus so I can make a waifu game in Unity. Waifu Island Paradise, perhaps. We'll see. I'm not gonna give you secret things Pokemon Go, because I'm not allowed to do that, but I would. I click waifus so we don't need waifus in real life. Exactly, that is the goal. But waifus in real life aren't a thing anyway, so you're not gonna find any waifus in real life. Trust me, I checked. Well, I went outside for a second and I didn't see anything, so to me that's proof enough, but see for yourself, I guess. I'm already pretty convinced, so I am working on waifus for everybody here. I'm working on a noble cause here. I am going to make a lot of weebs' dreams come true, hopefully. If you can make someone's dreams come true, wouldn't you want to do it? Make all their wildest dreams come true. That's all I'm trying to do here. Now, step one is getting this character to move. Because I imported this model. Oh, thanks for the follow. Trav Noral. Wow. Some of the fans want to engage in the information technology fields. How can we achieve our dreams of becoming business titans in no time flat? Well, that's simple. First, you become an e-girl. Okay, hold up. Let me read that question again. If we want to engage in the information technology fields, how can we achieve our dreams of becoming business titans in no time flat? Okay. Hey, thanks. Thanks Ecto Ranch for that follow. You making waifu. There we go. Freedom down. Now we're thinking. Now we're thinking like we're in the simulation. Business titans. If you want to be a business titan, you want to be Google, you gotta do something new. You gotta innovation, guys. Innovation. Connectitude. You gotta make waifus. You gotta make not just any waifus, but they gotta move. And mine doesn't move right now, which is like seriously huge bummer, because but I'm trying to do some really hacky stuff to get like, am I frozen again? Oh my gosh. Okay, let me fix that. We fixed it. If you guys don't know what VROid Studio is, it's like a VTuber thing, I think. Or like they use this program to make models for VR chat. I was thinking it's too late to be Google, Apple, Windows, Linux, etc. So I was thinking of creating my own time machine and going back in time, claim all those technologies as my own. You know what? That might just work if you do it right. So you're gonna need a time machine. You gotta go back to before Google. You gotta go back to when we were all using Yahoo like chumps. But you gotta be careful, because if you do something in the past, you might mess something up in the future. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for that follow, Gus Extra 44. Super appreciate it, but what was I saying? If you mess something up in the past, the next thing you know, you might be married to okay, I was gonna say something. Butterfly effect is real, yes. I'll just follow because you might inspire me to create something. Oh, I'll inspire you to create everything. I'll inspire you to create everything, baby girl. Don't you worry. Now, butterfly effect is taken into account. I'll take Gemini with me. Gemini? Is that pronounced Gemini or Gemini? Or Gemini? What are you guys' astrology like? So like at work, like the executive was like has like a PhD in astronomy, and then like he was doing an Ask Me Anything at work in Slack, and then someone was like, "What's your like?" I know all about astrology. What's your sign? Oh my gosh. I hope they were trolling. Cause that's gotta be troll. Otherwise, here's your layoff notice. Imagine having a PhD in astronomy just for some people to ask you what your sign is. What is your guys' sign? Do you guys got your signs? Do you guys know your signs? What degree do I have? I have a degree in psychology. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. That's a good sign. My signs don't bother me. I have a degree in psychology with a specialization in human health. Try to get a waifu to walk down the street. I am trying to get her to walk down the street, but she doesn't want to do anything. I am about to lay off this waifu. I'm sending in the divorce papers. This ain't gonna work. She's not doing anything. All she does is stand in this T-pose all day. Not a computer science degree. I do have a computer science degree. It is just not my bachelor's degree. She's not waifu material. She doesn't even move. Aren't waifus supposed to move at least a little bit? Or is that not part of the necessary credentials or requirements of a waifu these days? I know it's competitive out there, but come on. That is true. You know, that is a +1. Oh my gosh. Hopefully I'm not canceled by the end of the night. If I am, then well, oh well. Inverse kinematic. That sounds like something I should be doing or know what that is. Yeah. Oh yeah. But I do. Okay, just to answer your question, I unfortunately do have a computer science degree. I have a master's computer science degree. Because they wouldn't let me do Pokemon game development unless I had computer science degree stuffs. So I can't be a game developer without that computer science degree. Apparently they don't accept psychology degrees in game development worlds, and I'm just like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. And it was a nice meeting, you know. She only has to bend and flex. I'll let myself out. Oh yeah. If we can even get that, that would be good. And I think the reason why I can't the controller's not working is because, well, I just slapped a random controller on it. So I'm pretty sure that's not the right way of doing things around doing it. Alan turning, but which direction is he turning is the question. A turning test? Does it pass the turning test? Okay, I'm sorry, that's a little funny. It does turn. He only has to okay, where was I? VM avatar. I hope that was a play on words on turning, because like she doesn't move or turn or anything. But I think you meant to say Alan Turing. I don't know. Either way, it's funny. Great work. Great work. Unity one? Unity control net rig? Okay. I gotta figure out why there isn't an animator. Export when the model container animator. It can't work. Yeah, so what are you guys up to? Are you guys video game developers? Where you guys coming from? Doesn't Mo Weeksy doing video game development? The package in Unity for inverse kinematics is animation rigging. That does sound like I need something like that. Maui sings and bat flips. Oh yeah, that's right. She's like super acrobatic and like really an Olympian. When I'm stumped, I usually allow my cat to prance on my keyboard. Ooh. I need to get a cat. Dang it. Would have had this issue solved already. Let's see. Export when the model contain animator. Can't read. Animate VRM model using dollars and mocap. To use the viewer models. Creating the VRM using a Uni VRM. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna give up on this for now. And I'm just gonna mess around in Vroid Studio and see what happens. Let's create a new model, shall we? How do I create a new one? Save as. Maybe just do save as. Okay, what's that website where you can download Vroid assets? Is it Booth? Is there a site to download Vroid custom assets? Napster? What in the world? What is Napster again? Holy shit. How old is this? Was a peer-to-peer file sharing application with digital audio file distribution. I feel like I heard this when I was like 2.5 years old or something. Is there a site? Understand that Vroid custom item is a new feature that was added this past summer. Yeah, there's no way around it. Come on. Give me a website. Is that really the website? Any good sites I could use for my Vroid models, like eyes and such? My magic link for finding Vroid assets on Booth? Whoa, I'm gonna click on the magic link. I like magic links. Oh my goodness. How dangerous are these websites? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not allowed to show pretty sure I'm not allowed to show porn on Twitch. Booth.pm. Hold up. Let me ask ChatGPT. Wait, does booth.pm have porn? I don't know. I guess technically. First time ordering through Booth? Oh my gosh. Okay, that was not Google. That was not the right Google. Cuz this is just not well known enough for Google to even think it's a thing. Okay, I'm gonna pull it onto the side for a second, just scroll down real quick just to make sure that I'm not looking at that. No funny business happening. Vroid. Okay, I think we're in the clear. Okay, I think you're good. I'm friends with Bezos. Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah, just tell him if something shows up on my stream, then just tell him that it's K. You know? Do I have to buy this? And it's in Japanese money. It's in yen. I don't have any yen on me. Okay, hold up. Is there free stuffs in here? I'm gonna look for the free stuffs. Oh my gosh, half of it's in Japanese. Even though I have it on English. Free. Good. VR chat. Vroid. Let's see Vroid again. And can I filter with free stuff? Oh yeah, I can. $0. Okay. Nothing suspect on here? Okay, I think... Oh, snaps. Okay, this is pretty... I see an image that's kind of suspect. This has got to be on the edge of what's allowed on Twitch. Because, like, you're gonna run into 3D models that are just don't have clothes on. And, like, what are you gonna do about that? Oh, man. But, like... that should be fine, in my opinion. In my opinion. Dang it. I really wish I could show you guys this stuff. I think I can. There was just that one thing. Okay. Alright. I just make sure I'm not going to scroll up any farther than this. Because then something may or may not happen. Can we use anything in here? Do you want cat ears? Okay, let's check this one out. Free download bunny.zip. Oh yeah, I want my dudes. Why do they put these on dudes? Oh my gosh, let's just download it because I just want to see how this works. I gotta sign in. Okay, hold up. Let me make an account. You need to sign in. I know, man. So what you're saying is Twitch is not artist friendly. So that means Twitch is not being inclusive to artists, which is an issue. See what I'm doing there? How am I not King Mod yet? Oh, you'll make it. You'll get there. You're making all the right moves. You'll get there. Don't worry, Ghost. Create account by Google. You need to access booth. Okay, I'm signing up for random stuff. Asking for my birthday. Nickname Simals. I'm gonna make you fire up that time machine. I'm gonna make you go. I'm gonna see what would be good. What would be something? What would you guys do if you had a time machine? Is a real question. I think Twitch is alright with the base models. They're okay with the ASMR channels as well as categories like hot tubs. Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Especially with like the hot tubs, which I definitely don't know anything about. But you know, I see what you mean. But I've never seen those. Definitely haven't spent considerable amount of time. Hot Tub Time Machine, fun movie. Yeah. All right, let's download this bunny thing and see if we can use it. I don't know how to let's see. Let me ask ChatGPT how do I upload an asset into, you know what? Let's go to a whole new chat. How do I upload an asset into Vroid Studio? So I got my folders and I downloaded the bunny thing. This is just a test to see how to import stuff into Vroid Studio. Okay. We got PNG files. Is that really all that is? Like if I open this up, photos ain't. Okay. Let's import it. Import custom items. Let's go to downloads and bunny open. Vroid custom item. Okay, that's definitely not it. So I thought the whole point of this website was to import Vroid models, Vroid stuff. 3D models, Vroid. It is in the Vroid section. You will be downloading these products shipped from Big Factory. Okay. What a problem. I click download, it just downloads that same thing. Where are my VTubers at? They gonna help me out. Launch Vroid Studio. Okay, import textures. Simply added to the model. I downloaded assets from booth.pm and they came out as PNG files. So what do I do with those? If you download assets from Booth and there are in PNG file format, it's likely that these assets are textures or images files intended to be used in 3D modeling or virtual character creation software like Vroid. But yeah, you guys haven't answered my question, which was, what would you do if you could have a time machine? You can go back in time one time, say for like 30 minutes only. What would you do? I think I would go back in time and stop Harambe from getting killed, because I'm pretty sure Harambe is a direct result of everything bad that's happening right now. I am 99% sure on that one. I did the math. But not well. But I did some math. I can redo the math. Sports Almanac in pocket already? Sports Almanac. Does Sports Almanac have like information on like who gets drafted or something? I go back in time and use plasma as currency. What's plasma? Is that like Bitcoin? Back to the Future dose? Back to the Future 2. Okay, these are all good ideas. Keep them coming. See, if it wasn't say Save Harambe, what would I do? I kind of want to go find out when the pyramids were built, because I need to put an end to all this nonsense debating on when and how the pyramids were built. Because all I'm saying is they weren't built with ramps. You would need like how many miles of ramp to get it to the top of the pyramid? Let me ask how many miles of ramp to get to the top of Egyptian pyramid needed? Old Biff goes back and gives the Sports Almanac score results the last 50 years, then goes back and gives it to young Biff. Okay. Sounds important. Pyramids are definitely not built with ramps, at least not completely. The ramp would be more impressive than the pyramids. The ramp theory is garbage. Yes, right? Dude, now finally people agreeing with me. I was in like my school chat and they were like, oh no bro, there's no way aliens built the pyramids. Why don't you just listen to archaeologists, because that's what they study all their lives. Obviously they know what they're talking about. And I'm like, obviously someone is making shit up somewhere. The Egyptian pyramids, such as the Great Pyramids, Giza, do not have ramps that extend for miles to reach the top. In fact, there are no ramps. Well, a series of ramps, but these ramps were relatively short and were used to transport the massive stone blocks from the ground level to the various levels of the pyramids it was being built. You see, ChatGPT was made by the aliens, so it's not going to give us any information. I do think they built with copper hammers and chisels. Copper hammers and chisels. Is it magic or aliens or just engineering we haven't thought of yet? It could be engineers we haven't thought of yet. I like the conspiracy theory of like sound. They had like some mastery of sound and vibrations that we don't have, that made lifting and shit a lot easier. I love that one. The construction of the pyramids involved a series of ramps, but these ramps were relatively short and were used to transport the massive stones blocked to ground level. Relatively short? You gotta explain yourself, ChatGPT. The exact details of how the ramps were constructed and used are still subject of debate among Egyptologists, but they were not miles long. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, is approximately 481 feet tall, and the stones were likely transported up a series of shorter ramps as the pyramid was constructed layer by layer. Specific technique of these ramps are ongoing research study. Well, whatever technology and mechanisms were used, there should be some traces or evidence or tools used, but alas, they have found none. 2 multiple minerals. Definitely not a tome. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like that whole conspiracy theory that none of the pyramids are not actually tombs because they never found a pharaoh in a pyramid. All the pharaohs are like underground somewhere else away from the pyramids in the Valley of the Kings. Where is my compact flash card? Where is my what is a compact what? Never was a tomb until 1920s when an archaeologist decided it was. Other pyramids were used as tombs, but not the Great Pyramid. Okay. For my camera, compact flash card. Is that you mean like an SD card? Are we going back in time again? Exactly, it's a conduit or something. I feel like it was like an antenna or something like that. Because it was like gold plated or something at the top of the pyramid for some reason. That's what they say. And the pyramid is like precisely built in some direction or something. And wait a second, is the pyramid facing any special direction? Faster than secure digital cards. What is this? Now that's ancient. I think, is that the real ancient technology? Secure compact flash card. Yes, the Great Pyramid of Giza, along with many other ancient Egypt pyramids, as aligned with specific cardinal directions and has some significant astronomical alignments. The Great Pyramid of Giza, also known as the Pyramid of Khufu, is remarkably well aligned with the cardinal points of the compass. The sides of the pyramid are very close to being aligned with the 4 cardinal directions: north side, almost perfectly aligned with true north, south side, almost perfectly aligned with true south, east side, almost perfectly aligned with true east, west side, almost perfectly aligned with true west. You know what? That makes sense because it probably was perfectly aligned in the past, but the Earth has a rotation that you probably heard of called precession. And because of that, shit gets... Okay, actually I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Does precession even change what true north is? I don't think so. I think what is true north only doesn't depend on the orientation of Earth in space. Huh. Okay. West side, almost or east side. Prisoners in alignment has done regular researchers to speculate about the astronomical and symbolic significance of these alignments. Some theories suggest that the alignment with cardinal points may have held religious or celestial significance. Others propose that it might have been related to ancient Egyptian belief in the afterlife and the journey of the pharaoh's soul. Variants of turning? I thought like the point of true north would change over thousands of years or something. LimeWire? Damn, dude. I knew it. LimeWire, isn't that older than the pyramids? Pretty sure at least 1,000 years older than pyramids. The precision. And then apparently the Sphinx is supposed to be older than the pyramids because of the water erosion. Apparently. Ancient technology. Yeah, that's what the next Ancient Aliens episode is going to be about. LimeWire. They're going to be like, well, what if aliens are the ones sending me Rickrolls via peer-to-peer connections? You know, it would seem that we keep downloading viruses. So what you could only wonder if there was some sort of extraterrestrial technology and why I'm getting weird porn on my computer from LimeWire. The precision, okay. The precision. The only thing alien about that ridiculous show is that dude's hairstyle. Dude, I freaking love that show. Well, tectonic plates move, albeit not equally, without knowing much about the plate Egypt is on and how much it moves over 1,000 years. That is true. Oh, that is true. Tectonic plates do move, right? All that Pangea business. Not knowing much about the plate Egypt is on and how much it moves. I have to move at least. Aren't the pyramids like 4,000 years old at least or something? Puma Punku? Isn't that a Pokemon? Pretty sure that's a Pokemon. Okay, never mind. Is that a place? Oh, I can just search it right now. What is Puma Punku? Puma Punku, also spelled as Puma Punku, is an ancient archaeological site located near Tiwanaku in western Bolivia, South America. Puma Punku is part of the larger Tiwanaku complex, which is an ancient city and ceremonial center that dates back to pre-Inca times, possibly as early 500 BCE, although the exact dating is still a subject of research and debate. Puma Punku is known for its remarkable stone architecture characterized by finely cut, precisely fitted stones that exhibited advanced engineering and masonry techniques. Oh yeah, I think I heard about this. Dude. The site includes massive stone blocks with complex shapes and intricate carvings suggesting a high level of skill and craftsmanship. My features of Puma Punku include stone blocks, complex carvings, process, precise alignment, mysterious disrepair. What's that? Puma Punku is in a state of disrepair, with many of its stone structures and carvings scattered in disarray. The reasons for this destruction are not fully understood and may be due to various factors including the passage of the time and possibly natural disasters. The rest of the Puma Punku in relation to the larger Tiwanaku civilization remains subject of ongoing research and speculation. Some theories suggest that it served as a religious ceremonial site. I feel like anything that archaeologists can't complain, it's just a religious ceremonial site, guys. Don't worry, we have it under control. It's just a religious ceremonial site. No funny business here. Definitely not aliens. Interesting that there are pyramids across the same medians around the globe. That is interesting. Leads to think that they were built at a time where northern hemisphere was colder. Colder. Interesting. Suspected Cooper hammer. I suspect the copper hammer chisel theory. Northern hemisphere was colder. What does the temperature have to do with anything? A little confused. I am curious. As in way older than established until now. Okay. High position. These things. Express editor. Smiling. Close right. Face paint. Cheeks. Oh, those are different cheeks than I thought. Eyelids, scleras, irises, face sets. Body. Unsaved items? What's this? Outfit? Can I change it? How do I do that stuff? Oh, it just takes a second? Like in the Ice Age, nobody lived up here. As in way older than established till now. Oh, okay. Yeah, like in the Ice Age, people only lived basically on the equator. I think. Because everywhere else was just ice. Isn't that right? I mean, let me see. Did people mainly live on the equator during the Ice Age? During the last glacial period, commonly known as the Ice Age, occurred from about 110,000 years ago to around 12,000 years ago. The distribution of human population was influenced by various factors, including climate and available resources. While some populations lived near the equator, many others inhabited regions both closer to the poles and at various latitudes in between. Latitudes. It's important to note that the Earth's climate during the Ice Age was significantly colder and featured massive ice sheets covering large positions of North America, Europe, and Asia. This glacial ice significantly altered the landscape and made some areas inhospitable for human habitation. As a result, some regions near the equator and lower latitudes may have been more favorable for human settlement because they remained relatively warmer and had more stable environments. However, humans are highly adaptable and they live in a wide range of environments so lower latitudes, so some regions near the equator and lower latitudes may have been more favorable for human settlements because they remained relatively warmer and had more stable environments. Right, makes sense. You know what? About the stuff with the weird, wouldn't things look like they got shuffled if you built stuff on an ice sheet and then the ice sheet melted and then all your buildings just fell down? Mystery solved right there. Coastal regions. So Atlantis was built on top of an ice sheet and now it's underwater, I guess. Inland areas such as rivers. Okay. Well, is Atlantis under the ice sheets? Well, that's cute. Kimonos. What was the one I had? Can I like undo stuff? Let me undo it. Dude. Whoops. What the heck? Undo? Come on, Vroid. Oh, I can undo stuff. Nice. Models just take a second to update. Undo. Go back to the beginning. Oh man, I'm afraid to click on this one. I guess it won't undo all the way. What about this? Wow. That's cool and all. Okay, you know what? I think it's kind of late, so I think I'm just gonna wrap up the stream. We can definitely talk about Ancient Aliens next time, if you're up for it. I'll do my research on it. I'll find the aliens. We'll find them. But let's go ahead and raid somebody. Thank you guys for coming to the stream. I really appreciate the raid, Maui, if you're still there. Twitch.tv. Let's see who's on. When we can adjust to the profound effect that the moon in it nights. Oh, bam. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for the stream. Work time for me. No problem. Thanks again for the follow, Ghost and Ecto Lounge and Ravanra. Thank you for those follows. Very appreciated. Hope you enjoy the stream. Hope to see you guys again. When can we just discuss what the Moonanites have had on the current generation? I need to look into who the Moonanites are. I am sorry. I'm intrigued. Me too. I normally stream. Right now it's like 12 because I live in San Francisco. So I usually stream somewhere between 8 p.m. to midnight. And then sometimes I stream in the morning. Unfortunately, I do live in San Francisco. Sometimes I stream like 8 a.m. like 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. Pacific time. Hey, look, there I am. Okay. Let's see, who should we raid? Let us find somebody. Preferably doing something in Unity. Can we find the Unity devs with the Control F? We got a Japan dude doing Unity stuff, which might be cool. Unity game dev. How about Phil? Shall we raid Phil? Seems like a good guy. Seems like a chill dude.
One space, I guess this is one space, right?
Probably eats at the chillest restaurants. You know? Alright, are you guys ready? Let's do it. His name is Phil Barracks. Alright. Thank you guys again. Thanks, Maui. Alright, we're raiding. Don't forget to follow if you want to talk about aliens more, I guess. And also do Unity stuff later. Alright, I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. Let's see. Raid has been canceled. Did I cancel it? I scuffed it up. Alright, let's try again. Phil. Barracks. Start it. Let me see. What is happening in software and game development? Win with code. 26 viewers ready to raid. Alright, sounds good. Sounds like a plan. Let's raid now. See you guys later. Cheers, my friend. This is the Simul Shift.
What? 26 viewers. Holy damn. Holy damn. Welcome, Raiders. Ghouls. Run chess. Chat. Hey, Simul Shift. Wow. Thanks for the raid, man. How are you doing? Yo, 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 yo. Simul guaranteed we would be discussing aliens. Oh, aliens? We don't have aliens. Holy damn. How are you doing, guys? Doing good? Discussing aliens? Oh, you serious? Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna give you a shout out. How was your stream? Gonna do gonna check VSO what you did.